In 2008, a company that had survived wars, economic crashes, and more than a century of global change collapsed almost overnight. It wasn't just another business failure. It was the largest bankruptcy in American history, involving nearly $700 billion in assets. And when it fell, the global economy shook. Stock markets plunged, banks panicked, millions of people lost jobs, homes, and savings. But here's the part most people don't know. This financial giant didn't start on Wall Street. It didn't begin in a skyscraper. It began in a small store in Alabama, and the journey from that humble beginning to global dominance is one of the most fascinating financial stories ever told. To understand how Lehman Brothers became powerful enough to shake the world, we first need to understand how it began. Because long before it becomes one of the most powerful investment banks in history, it was just three immigrant brothers trying to survive in a new country. And what they built over the next century would become one of the most influential financial institutions the world had ever seen. Section 1. The Immigrant Beginning. The story begins in the 1840s. At that time, the United States was expanding rapidly. New industries were forming, trade was growing, and immigrants were arriving in large numbers, hoping to build better lives. One of those immigrants was a young man named Harry Lehman. He left Germany and traveled across the Atlantic, eventually settling in Montgomery, Alabama. At the time, Montgomery was a growing trade hub in the American South. Henry didn't arrive with wealth. He arrived with determination. Like many immigrants of this time, he began working small jobs, saving whatever money he could. Eventually, after years of effort, he saved enough to open a small store. It was a dry goods store, selling clothing, tools, and everyday necessities. Nothing glamorous, nothing revolutionary, just honest business. But this simple store would become the foundation of one of the most powerful financial institutions in history. Section 2. The arrival of the brothers. Henry's business slowly began to grow, and as it did, he invited his brothers to join him in America. First came Emanuel Lehman, then later, Meyer Lehman. Together, the three brothers officially formed Lehman Brothers in 1850. This marked the true beginning of the company. But tragedy struck early. Only 5 years later, Henry Lehman died from yellow fever, a deadly disease that swept through the region, just 33 years old. The business he built was suddenly left in the hands of his younger brothers. At that moment, everything could have ended, but instead, it evolved. Section 3. The Unexpected Opportunity. Cotton. What changed everything was cotton. Today, it might seem strange to imagine cotton playing such a central role in finance. But in the mid-1800s, cotton was one of the most valuable commodities in the world. Often called white gold, cotton powered the economy of the American South, and many of the Lehman Brothers customers were cotton farmers. These farmers didn't always have cash, so instead of paying with money, they paid with cotton. At first, this created a challenge. But soon, the Lehman Brothers saw an opportunity. Instead of rejecting cotton as payment, they began accepting it, and then reselling it to buyers. This turned their store into something new, not just a retail shop, but a trading operation. They were no longer just selling goods. They were connecting farmers to manufacturers, acting as intermediaries, middlemen, and earning profits from the transactions. Without realizing it, they were taking their first steps into finance. Section 4. Moving to New York. As their cotton trading business grew, the Lehman Brothers recognized something important. Real power wasn't in the small towns. It was in financial centers. So, they made a bold move. They expanded operations into New York City. At the time, New York was becoming the heart of American finance. And this decision would change everything. From New York, they helped establish trading relationships. They participated in early commodity exchanges, and they built connections with powerful businesses. This transition marked a turning point. The Lehman Brothers was no longer just a trading firm. It was becoming a financial institution. Section 5. Expanding beyond cotton. As time passed, the cotton industry began to change. Markets evolved, competition increased, and the Lehman Brothers saw a future coming. They understood something many businesses failed to recognize. Industries change, and survival requires adaptation. So, they expanded beyond cotton into other commodities, into financing, into underwriting, helping companies raise money by selling shares. This shift moved them deeper into the world of finance and positioned them to become something far greater than a trading firm. They were transforming into an investment bank, one that would eventually help fund major industries in America: retail, railroads, manufacturing. Their influence was growing, quietly but steadily. Section number 6. The foundation of an empire. By the early 1900s, Lehman Brothers had evolved from a small immigrant-run store into a respected financial institution. It had survived tragedy, adapted to new markets, and seized opportunities others overlooked. But the real transformation was still ahead, because in the decades to come, Lehman Brothers would help finance some of the biggest companies in America. And with that success came risk. Risk that would grow slowly, silently over generations, until one day it became too large to control. In the next chapter of this story, Lehman Brothers moves from a growing financial firm to one of the most powerful investment banks on Wall Street. They would finance major corporations, expand into new industries, and become deeply embedded in the American economy. But hidden beneath that success, the seeds of future disaster were already being planted. And when those risks finally surfaced, the consequences would be catastrophic.